Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your August 2025 tarot card reading. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Jane. Welcome. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with the tarot cards. We start with the Page of Cups, the Five of Wands. So what is it that Capricorn needs to know for August? I'm just feeling like there's a lot going on with other people right now. I think it's a little annoying. Stuff at work, maybe there's some family drama, maybe there's, some neighborhood stuff going on. Honestly, Capricorn, I feel like you're this King of Wands though. I'm going to start here, okay? I feel like you're the King of Wands, which still is like so vision oriented. Now, one of the benefits I would say of having Jupiter across from you, especially in exaltation, is that Jupiter kind of shines his light onto you. And I think you kind of get some benefits there, which means that you're probably in a more high-minded place than most people right now. You're probably more future focused, more dedicated to expansion, growth, profitability, finding something a little bit more meaningful or more impactful, and there's just basically more of a growth mindset going on. But I'm still kind of seeing that there's things that have to be dealt with. Now, with the Page of Cups, I often see unexpected things where it's trivial. I don't know that it's that big a deal. It's not life-altering or anything like that. It's just inconvenient. And I think this is one of those things that it's just like, oh, why do I have to deal with this? And I think this is Mars coming into Libra. I think that plays a really big part in it, especially because Mars is your exalted planet there. It's in your 10th house. You're kind of in this leadership position here with that particular transit, meaning people are going to come to you. They're going to come to you. They're going to ask you things. They're going to look for your ideas, your opinions, your this, your that. Out of the blue, maybe there's people from the past that come back, I don't know. But I feel like it's like stuff that you perceive it's just in the way. It's in the way of what you want to do. It's in the way of your progress. It's in the way of your projects, but it's unavoidable at the same time. Five of Wands, you can't just ignore it. You can't circumvent. You can't stay on the perimeter. I think sometimes you have to get into that brawl a little bit. Now, it may not be that big a deal, like I say. It might be just some office politics you have to deal with, or a project that kind of goes awry, or there's some kind of communication, like miscommunication or something like that needs to be straightened out. Maybe there's a little bit of a fight or an argument with a spouse, whatever. But I think really communication is the big ticket here. I just don't think Capricorn really wants to be talking about this stuff. It feels like a drag to me, and it feels like it's not you. It's just the people around you, and it's the people that don't get it. It's like when you're working for a client and you have the big vision of stuff and they're like, no, but I want you to do it like this. And you're like, no, but we can't because of this reason. And they're just not, it's just like, isn't clicking. That's kind of how it feels to me, that Five of Wands. But you can't just not deal with it because it's a client, right? So you got to kind of get in the mosh pit a little bit. You got to get dirty. You got to get roughed up a little bit. Your saving grace here, though, I think is your vibration. And I think it's the energy that you bring to it. So when people are getting a little bit worked up or angry or frustrated or whatever, you come in like a king. You come in powerful with a vision and a voice and an ability to self-express and articulate what needs to be said. And I'm kind of seeing you taking a director's position. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, you go do this and you go do that. Don't be afraid to delegate. Don't be afraid to kind of take that leadership charge, because I think what's lacking here is leadership. This is what people need. They need someone to come in and control and corral the energy a little bit. You're kind of becoming a manager, in other words, okay? Now, some of you actually are managers in, your job or whatever. Some of you aren't. If you're not, this probably will be extra annoying because you're like, why can't people just manage themselves? Why can't people just control themselves? Why can't people just figure it out? There's too many egos involved. There's too many perspectives involved. There are too many ideas floating around that are not coherent. And I just don't think there's the communication between people to be able to really figure it out. This is also a highly competitive environment, so I feel like people are trying to win in a place where there is no winning necessarily. Okay, so I hate to see it, but I think you are going to have to kind of roll up your sleeves a little bit. But it's for the sake of the vision, and I think once this is over, because usually the Five of Wands is very brief. It comes and it goes and we move on. And I think clearly we move on very quickly. Three of Cups, totally different vibe from the Five of Wands. And it feels like, Capricorn, you straighten it out. People start getting along. There's celebration, there's harvest, there's completion. There's a lot of laughter. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to kind of laugh off what happened. There's togetherness, reconciliation, collaboration. And this is kind of, I think, what you want and what you need. This might just be that initial conflict that happens when either people aren't used to working together or there's just a difference in ideas and opinions. But I do think it works out well. Ultimately, things will get straightened out. There will be reason to celebrate or to, to be happy, I guess we could say. And I think it ends up being great. Which, when you look back on it, like by the end of August, you'll look back at the beginning and be like, okay, I know what that was, because you may not know what that is right now going into August, right? This may not make any sense to you right now because it probably hasn't happened yet. But when you look back on it, you'll be like, okay, that was that little mini drama that I dealt with, but look at what came out of it. And what I really like about the Queen of Cups, now this speaks to me as a part of your energy, but also someone else's as well. I think you're more the King of Wands right now, though. But with the Queen of Cups, as though this is you, I think that there is some kind of satisfaction that comes from this whole process. In that this is someone else, I think this is someone who really is deeply supportive of you, who really loves you, Capricorn, who really supports you and really does want to be on your team. Now, this person may or may not be part of this. They may or may not be part of this. These may or may not be the same people. I don't know. But I am seeing that there is at least one person that absolutely has your back, absolutely has your corner, who will fight for you, be loyal to you, is committed to you, and will not leave. Right? They will not leave your side. They will not abandon you. This is not someone who abandons anyone. They have a deep sense of personal responsibility when it comes to the people that they love. And there's a big love here, I feel. A big appreciation, a big respect. So while you're kind of dealing with this, there is someone that you can go to. Because this is not, it doesn't all have to be worn on your shoulders, right? This is not all your responsibility. You may have to deal with it, but there is someone that can help shoulder that load with you. Okay? Let's pull out the rest. Let's see what else comes through. What else for Capricorn for August 2025? What else for Capricorn? Let's see. Yeah. I genuinely believe things are working out quite beautifully and that there is a divine order to this, as there always is with everything. But this is going to stand out to you a little bit in your life as like a moment where divine order really took the reins, took control. because there's clearly something coming from all of this. Ace of Cups. There's clearly something developing. You're attracting something. And I really like that we're transitioning from Five of Wands to Three of Cups, because it's like, okay, we take kind of a low vibe situation that's stressful, frustrating, all of that, and we create peace and celebration and gratitude and all these much higher vibrational frequencies. So we're kind of elevating our existence. So it's no wonder why we are attracting beautiful new things that are more aligned with this, the Three of Cups. More aligned with the high quality relationships that you have, like with the Queen of Cups. Now the Ace of Cups, similar to the Page, also feels kind of unexpected. Because what I see with the King is that you're just doing your thing. You have your vision, you're going after what you want, you're dealing with people, their attitudes, you're dealing with the competition, whatever. You're just in your zone. Like, I don't even know that you're even asking for this. You're not even asking. You're not even trying to manifest this, and it's still just coming in. And I think what's so beautiful about this is that it really speaks to your heart. It really says, Capricorn, this is meant for you. This resonates. This makes sense. This is something that should be integrated into your life in a real way. I do think it's a little bit of a surprise. And I think it's confirmation and validation that you are a great person. It's validation that you are doing the right things. Because sometimes when you have to deal with that, it doesn't always feel that way. Because we feel drained. And it might be draining, and it just kind of takes the life out of you a little bit. And you're like, oh man, I had to deal with that. I got all distracted. I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. It kind of spirals, And even though it works out okay, there's still that part of you that's like, oh, that was such a waste. It was such a waste. But I think it's the alchemical process of Five of Wands to Three of Cups. It's like, that was the point. That was the point, because you needed to be in that place here for this to come in, because there is clearly a tide that is turning. Something is starting to come in toward you. Very Jupiter in the 7th. Very Jupiter. But this tide is coming, the flow, the fortune, it's starting to kind of move in your direction. And the Ace of Cups, I think, is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just that little beginning that happens when we're on a new track. It's subtle. It feels so subtle to me. I don't think this is going to be loud. I don't think this is going to be all that obvious either. It'll be a little surprise, unexpected, but I don't think that when that unexpected thing happens, you go like, oh, that was the Ace of Cups. I don't think it's going to click for you like that. But it is going to be validating, and it is going to be a gift. And I think it is something that you take and you start to nurture and you start to nourish, not really understanding what this is ultimately going to become. Because I don't think you have any clue. I think you have no idea. You're in your own little world up here. You're just doing your own little thing. You've got this beautiful thing. You're just in your world. And this is saying, yeah, but that world is opening up for you, Capricorn. There's going to be a new opportunity that makes no sense to you right now, and yet for some reason I think you will be compelled to take it. You may even be really skeptical. You may even be a little annoyed. Now that I'm like really sitting and thinking with this, you might be annoyed. Some of you will be annoyed by this because it disrupts the plan. And it will be validating, but also you're like, but it's not what I was planning. It's not what I was thinking. It's not how I was expecting this to go. It's not within your realm of control or your realm of perceived options or projected options. But that's what's so beautiful about the Hanged Man. It's like, this was never meant to be known to you. You were never meant to know about this. You were never meant to expect this. It's funny how sometimes the most magical things happen in the times when we're trying to make something else happen. And I think this Five of Wands is a necessary distraction. Because the thing with the King of Wands is that he's got his vision, he's got his idea, he's got this clarity. And when he's working towards it, he is working towards it so much. And sometimes he doesn't always realize that there's too much effort, and that sometimes that effort actually pushes something away. And that it's sometimes when you take a step back and you disconnect and you think about something else for a little while, then that's when the energy eases up, and yes, that wheel of fortune can now turn. It's like we don't always realize, we think that sometimes we really do have to force matter to shape and form the way we need it to. But sometimes you just need to make room for the miracles to happen. And I think that's what you're meant to do with the Five of Wands. It's let yourself be annoyed. It's okay. Let yourself be inconvenienced. Because I'm telling you that inconvenience is probably the most magical time. Because you're taking effort away from the thing that you've been pushing on so hard. And the moment you take it away, the energy eases, and look what happens. Okay? This is not within your realm of control. Your hands are literally tied. You are literally tied up on a tree here. You have no control. You're at the mercy of the currents. This is what happens with Saturn, Neptune. We're all at the mercy of the current right now, but especially you, because this is happening not only with your ruling planet Saturn, but in your fourth house. Fourth house, in my opinion, you may have heard me say this, the most powerful house, because it's that root system that every other area of your life relies so heavily upon. Your roots are actually getting stronger. They're actually going deeper. But you're also kind of removing things with the Three of Swords. Now, it's funny because there's this little good thing that happens. You know, I'm looking at this Queen of Cups. I don't know how much she plays a role in the story. We'll see what else comes through. But as it stands, she just seems like she's just here. She's just here. She's like her own little rating. And she's just only showing up here to say, hey, Capricorn, you are not in this alone. Okay, that's all she's here for. And I think it's important for you to know, for some of you to know that. You need to know that. But here's this like annoyance. But then things get straightened out and it's okay. And then you start attracting something and it's good. And you're like, okay, maybe a little like, not according to plan, but fine, whatever, I'll take it. And then something bad happens again. You're like, what the heck? What the heck? Why is this bad thing happening? Why is this unwanted thing happening? Why is this trauma coming back up? Why does this hurt? Why is this betrayal happening? This is happening because the path is being cleared. One of the things that I said when Jupiter came into Cancer is that this is our time to find freedom from a lot of our karmic, our karmic patterns and our emotional states of being, our karmic emotions, however you want to phrase that. But Jupiter is here to free us from those things so that our fears and insecurities and all those things are no longer a problem. But in order for that to happen, they have to be illuminated. They have to come up to surface. That's what's going on here with this Three of Swords. This is a sign of what happens when things are genuinely changing. This is a sign of what happens when things are being purged, when you're finding freedom, when you're healing. This is a necessary evil. It's not an evil, I'm just kind of using that as a phrase, but it's kind of just like a necessary event because this wheel has to have something to expand into. It has to expand into your heart, it has to expand into your life. But if there is no void in your life, it has no room to expand. So there's a purge that must happen. Okay, so that's why this is coming up here in kind of like a yet another inconvenience kind of way. I think there's lots of little inconveniences here this month for you. Little annoyances that you're like, oh, that wasn't the plan. Oh, that wasn't the plan. Oh, I don't want to spend my energy on that. You know, like little things. And yet when we hit Virgo season, it's all very methodical. And I think that by that time, there's like a new structure at hand. Now integrating the Ace of Cups. Now we've eliminated the Five of Swords. We've eliminated Five of Wands, excuse me. We've eliminated the Three of Swords. So we have all these things that we're kind of getting out of the way, that now it's like, okay, we have a different landscape in September. There's a different... Now, one of the things too that I mentioned at the beginning of 2025 was that this is a year of repositioning. This is what we're meant to do. We're meant to move these little chess pieces around a little bit so that we can really go in for the kill in 2026. And right now, I'm clearly seeing a lot of little moves. You're moving those little pawns around. You're moving your little rooks, your little bishops, all the things. You're moving everything around, getting ready or positioning your pieces to go in for the kill. Okay? And come Virgo season, there's going to be a lot to do, right? That is 9th house activity for you. There's going to be a lot to do. But for right now, especially during Leo's, the remainder of Leo season, there's a lot of 8th house stuff, which has a lot of elimination energy to it. So you're eliminating a lot of things, okay? Let's go ahead here and pull out the animal spirit. So for the final oracle cards for Capricorn for August, what is it that you need to know? Capricorn, oh, we have this cat spirit, which I love this card because it looks like my Annie, but it says claim your independence, right? And I love that for Mars coming in the 10th, because it's just a really independent thing. Like, you're not going to be, and what, as much as I love that there's support here, I do not see that you are really leaning on them in a codependent way. I see you feeling very much like, I need to do this myself. But thank you for being there so I can vent when I need to and being an emotional support. But you're kind of on the battlefield right now, Capricorn. Okay. So what else with the Moonology deck? We have a fiery climax approaches. Yeah, I mean, I do think something is building. I don't know that we're getting the climax this month, but I think we're definitely building up to something. Definitely building up to something, okay? All right, let's pull out the clarifiers. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm going to open up all these cards and we're going to get really in-depth in the comprehensive reading. So the link for that is in the description box and comment thread down below. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. So let's see what comes through. What else does Capricorn need to know about this Page of Cups? Five of Swords. Yeah, it seems like really out of the box to me. Seven of Coins. Five of Wands. We have Temperance. We have the Star. Seven of Cups. I love the destiny element with the Star. I'm telling you, it's a part of the plan. It is a necessary thing, just like the Three of Swords is necessary. Page of Wands. Nine of Cups. The Sun. We have the Six of Swords. Seven of Wands, Knight of Swords, this little Queen over here, Five of Cups, Six of Wands, Queen of Wands. Yeah, I don't think that's you for some reason. I'm just really not getting Capricorn vibes there. It really feels like a support person. Ooh, an Ace of Coins with a Queen of Cups, Three of Coins, Three of Wands, Knight of Wands, love that. Four of Cups, Four of Wands, the World, Two of Wands. We have another Knight of Coins, Hermit, and Three of Swords on Three of Swords. Let's pull another card since we got a repeat. Ten of Coins. Eight of Swords, Six of Cups, and Page of Coins. All right, Capricorn, this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Link in the description box and the comment thread down below. Thank you all so much. You guys know I love and adore you. Hope you have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon.